Hello guys, and welcome to the last day of Kraków. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, and it's actually way past when I went to Kraków. So I went in February and it's actually the end of June when I'm filming this. Why, you might ask? Well, because I forgot. I literally filmed all 5 days of Kraków, like I think a week after I came back home, and I forgot there were actually 6 days and not 5. So I'm editing all the videos because they're going to be uploaded from August on, and I realised I have never recorded day number 6. So that is what I am going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking you through day number 6, which is also the last day in Kraków. And I'm very sorry that I forgot. But you know what? We're going to do it right now, and it's fine. It's fine either way. It's going to be totally fine. I do have my laptop with pictures and my notes on my phone with me, because otherwise, well, I'm going to be guessing what we did, and that's probably not the right thing. Let's start the day. Basically, since it was the last day, we decided that we were going to have breakfast at home, simply because you do not have a lot of time. You have to check out, you have to put your bags in lockers and all of that, so you don't have a lot of time. So we actually obviously decided to have breakfast at home. Now, after breakfast, we packed up everything, we cleaned up the apartment, and we were actually supposed to meet the guy, like the owners of the apartment, in the lobby that they have in the apartment building, and that's where we were going to put our luggage. We actually made an appointment with them, and I looked back at my messages and we were meeting at 10 at the lobby, and I remember them not being there. They were not at the lobby, which was so frustrating, because the day before we had set up a meeting with them at 10 so that we could drop off our luggage, and we didn't have to like have our luggage all day long because our flight's not until the evening time. So that was really frustrating, but we remembered that there was a luggage storage space in the station not too far from where our apartment was, so that is where we decided to drop off our bags. So we dropped off our suitcases and our backpacks at this lady who owns like the storage place, I guess, and that is where we dropped off our bags. It wasn't too expensive, so that was quite good. And that is where we dropped off everything, so that it was a little bit easier for us to walk around Kraków all day and not have to carry like our luggage with us. Since Schindler's factory was closed when we were originally planning on going, this is something that we really wanted to do today. So that is the first thing that we did in the morning time, is actually go to Schindler's factory. We did go on foot because we realised it was actually not too far from where our apartment was, so we did go on foot. The factory was very emotional. It was a very emotional roller coaster. I think I mentioned in a previous video that in school in Belgium we did learn about this time period, but we didn't learn enough. So walking around in this factory really like made it clear what happened, and I remember so well that there was a wall filled with pictures of people, and I think seeing pictures of people that were actually living there and seeing pictures from that time maybe it makes it a little bit more real, because these are obviously people that were living in this town when everything happened, and that really saw everything happening up close. Things happened to them, and I just thought that was really emotional. Seeing like the picture wall made me like a little bit sad, even to like see all these pictures of people that were affected by this whole thing. I did not take too much pictures because I wanted to really like, I don't know, absorb everything well, I think. But what I did find of the factory is that they did a really good way of creating a space where it was very clear on how to imagine what was happening in the time way back there. And there was actually the factory is building like a whole timeline, and you're just walking through the timeline and you can see every year or every month things change, and you can really see like the whole 5-year period. You can totally see it in the factory, like how it started, and then there's like paper articles hanging on walls, and you obviously had like that wall that I was talking about earlier that was surrounding the whole Jewish quarters, that was also standing there, which was very intimidating, seeing that wall, because that one piece of wall that I saw earlier on in our travels, that was such a small wall and it didn't make any like impact. But when you see the whole entire wall in the Schindler's factory, that actually does make a lot of impact, and that actually is quite intimidating, and it makes clear like how big that wall was and how they literally surrounded that whole area with a wall. It was also, I feel like, quite an interactive museum, because there were like movies playing and you could hear conversations. There were loads of stuff. You had to walk through certain areas where you could really like experience how it was to walk in the war zone, and it was really like you could really experience how it was for them. Obviously not like exactly the same way, but somehow you were able to experience a little bit more how they felt when they were walking in this area. What the 3 things that caught me the most was the Schindler's List, which was a huge round wall, and that is where you could see all the names. So for those of you who don't know what the Schindler's List is, basically Oskar Schindler saved thousands of Jewish people from Poland and other countries as well, I think, by putting them on his list of employees that worked with him in the factory, and those employees were going to be saved from the Holocaust. So that is how he saved it, how he saved them, and seeing that list made it so real of how many people he like saved, and seeing those names was really like very touching. Something else that was really cool, I think, is also like this round circle with music playing, and there were also stones like turning, and on these walls were all articles talking about Oskar Schindler and the good things he did and how people felt about him, and that was really touching as well. And then all the way at the end of the museum there is an article about Oskar Schindler dying, and loads of people that he saved actually came together and went to his graveyard, and I thought that was so touching, because there was a picture in colours now of people actually that he saved coming to his grave, and I thought that was so cool that these people remember who saved them, and they all decided to come together to actually support him even after he had died. And I think that is so inspiring to see, and that I thought was a really good way to end the museum. Okay, so we actually spent a lot more time in the factory than we thought we would. I think we spent like 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 in there. By the time we left, we were super hungry. So we decided to have lunch in a place called Solna, and we basically just wanted a quick and easy lunch. And I had orange pancakes, and I had no idea what to expect, but they were fabulous. And I had like a homemade lemonade, I think, with it. I can't really quite remember, but I think it was a lemonade. But it was so delicious. It was really good, and it was a stunning place as well. Afterwards, my cousin really wanted to go to the university in Krakow, which is called Uniwersytet Jagielloński, and apparently it's really pretty university on the inside, but on the outside as well, but definitely on the inside. And she had it on like a bucket list to go inside. So we walked all the way to the university to stand at the doors and read a little sign that I was not allowed to go inside for visitors due to COVID, which was a really big bummer for my cousin. She was really sad about that because she really wanted to visit, and that was quite sad that it wasn't possible anymore. So that was a big like letdown. So we were quite sad about that. But we did decide to go to like this art museum that she really wanted to see instead. It's like 2 different exhibitions from different artists, and I think the upper floor was really good. It was like modern artwork, not modern, but like artwork that I do really like as well. And it was in a stunning building with these gorgeous wooden old floors, and it was just like so nice to see. Then downstairs was a little bit of a different kind of art, which was cool to see, but it was just not really our style. But we were quite happy that we saw it anyway, but it was just not really our thing. Now, we still had a lot of time left because our flight wasn't until 8 in the evening time. But we were so knackered. Obviously, walking around for 6 days, you do a lot of steps, a lot of kilometers, and we were just so tired. So we both actually kind of decided to sit down and just have like a coffee and a little bit of cake and just like enjoy the last hours that we had in Krakow in a good way, and not like running around and being exhausted by the time we had to go to the airport. So that is what we decided to do. We sat down and we kind of just like reminisced about what we did the last couple of days, and it was quite fun actually to like talk about everything that we did and what was our highs and lows were, but also just like sit in silence for a little bit and just like enjoy those last minutes in Poland. It was really great. We then basically took the cab to the airport, which took a lot less long than we were expecting, which meant that we were in the airport way too early, and we actually couldn't check in yet. So we had to like sit in this waiting room for an hour until we were allowed to check in, which really sucked. But yeah, once we were through security, we basically just had dinner. We had like pizza, really quick dinner, and then we hopped on the plane and we went back to Belgium, which we were quite sad about because this was, for me, one of the best travels I have done in my entire life. I have fallen in love with Poland, I have fallen in love with the culture there, and I am definitely planning on going back. When I'm filming this, a lot has obviously changed in this part of the world. So Ukraine and Poland, mainly Ukraine, but Poland is affected by it as well, are going through a lot at this point, and I just really want to wish all the best to Ukraine and Poland, and I really hope that things will get better for you guys soon and that things will go back to the way they were. I'm really sorry about everything that's going on with Russia and with Ukraine, and just everything that's happening right now is just breaking my heart. I just hope that when everything is better and everyone in those countries is safe and sound and able to go back home and to go back to where they belong, tourists are allowed to go back as well, and we can all make sure that you guys have the ability to show your amazing culture and your amazing country with us. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you again another time with another video.